This is the DJI OSMO Action 5 Pro camera. It's the essential combo box. I was sent this to review for free. They haven't paid me for my review, and my opinions remain my own. If you wanted to purchase this camera, it would cost you around $340. So this is the essential combo box, and my understanding is that this contains everything that the standard box has except for the adhesive-backed mounting plate. Alright, so we have here the Action camera itself, little card here, desiccant packet, and a box of accessories. In the box, we have what looks like a little instruction manual, the horizontal and vertical protective case, a USB-C to C power data charging cable, and then inside of here there look to be several other accessories. Alright, so we have the locking screw, we have here this guy here that has a clip mount, and locking screw goes through there. We have the battery, and here is the case, which will open up and then clamp down when you put this guy in it. So here's the camera itself. There's a warning sticker that says, "Tighten the lens protective cover before taking in water." Pull the sticker off, and there is the lens protective cover, and this guy, I believe, can unscrew. They do say tighten it. No. So that's a so this guy's a little rubber that goes around the outside, and then this is the lens protecting glass, and it seems to be pretty darn tight already because I'm unable to tighten or loosen it myself. But that piece can unscrew from the lens, and that is essentially a removable part. You can buy a new one if you scratch it up. Now, I don't know the best way to get this guy on without getting fingerprints all over the lens. Right. So the camera has dual touch screens, one on the back, one on the front. Big red button here, power QS button there. There is a little lever here, and then another one down there. So you will need to provide your own microSD card to record onto. There's a little triangular arrow pointing this way. You push down and then slide up, and this cover unlatches. The microSD card goes in there. The provided battery goes in here. You can see on the bottom there is where this guy connects into. So that goes in. This guy goes back in place, push down to latch in place. The other side, there's this little door which has an arrow pointing down. You pull it down, and then pop up, and that's where the USB-C port is. Now, to mount this guy, they have this little guy here, which has the DJI logo, and it only goes with the DJI logo to the front. It feels kind of like it just magnetically latched there, but it doesn't just magnetically latch. It has these two little clips, and so it'll stick on, but it won't really hold until you snap both of those two clips in, and they make a positive clicking noise when you do that. Now, the Essentials kit has this guy, but it doesn't have the base plate, so you will need to provide your own Action Cam style mount to mount this on whatever you're using it with. To remove that, you pull these, pop it out. Now, there's no way to mount it vertically with this guy until you put it in the cage. So this is the horizontal vertical cage, and it offers some protection. You can see there is a button pass-through right there for this button here, so that gives you a hint of which way to orient things. Basically, you open it, this guy slides in place, and then once you get it all the way in place, you can latch this thing closed, and it grips it very snugly. So the button is still available, this slot is still available. You cannot open the other slot on the other side with this case on. And so you're able to access the data and charge with the cable when it's in the case, but you won't actually be able to pull the battery out, swap the battery, or swap the card. Now what you can do with this arm is you can put this guy on the bottom like that, or you can switch it to the side here and snap it on the side, and so you can mount this vertically with that guy on the side. And so that's basically what you get in the box. There's stickers and manual things and so forth. There's also these anti-skid pads, which are basically little sticky rubber rings. I'm not quite sure where you're supposed to install those yet. It might be you're supposed to install those along this guy as washers in there. Now there is a companion phone app that connects to this via Wi-Fi. That's the DJI Miro app. Alright, so the microSD card inserts with these contacts facing the camera side, and you can put the microSD card in while the battery is installed. And you basically just snap it in place there. So you can take the battery or the microSD card in and out independently of each other. Alright, so to turn it on, this button, if you hold it for more than a second, will turn it on and off. It also switches between video recording and photo taking, and this button takes videos or photos. Alright, it turns on, and English is an option. This is a touch screen, so you can move through the options and pick your language, and then single click to go through it. And now it wants you to download the app and connect with the app and register and all of that. You can slide this to skip, and you can do that up to 5 times. So it does kind of require that you register this guy with the app eventually. Now when you scan that QR code, they have a video guide for first use, kind of how to use it, activation, update the firmware, features of the buttons, accessories, that type of thing. So you can play that video as opposed to having a manual in the box. Alright, the QR code on the camera sent me to their website, and they have a place where I can download the Android APK directly, not out of like a store. It says you can download on the App Store, and then it says download for Android. It doesn't say Google Play Store. So this download is 840 megabytes inside, and you have to sideload it onto your Android device. It requires Android 9 at a minimum. Alright, we're in the process of installing this app, sideloaded, downloaded with the browser, and installed sideloaded with the package manager. Alright, here is the DJI Mimo My Moment app. We have to agree to their privacy notice. We can either join the project or not consider joining the process of sharing data. And now it is loading resource files. Alright, once it got started, it started zipping along pretty quick. Okay, connect and capture. Download and edit. Profile. Alright, I believe I'm going to have to log in, but let's just try device management. We'll say register. No, we have to log in because I already have. So either register an account, or if you already have a DJI account, you log in to the DJI account. Alright, we have to access mobile devices storage so you can use features including editing and downloading photos and videos. Alright, it is searching for the device. It has found the device. It's connecting to the device. And we have to check the verification code, and the code matches. And so we hit accept on the device. And then we have to agree to all of that. And to receive warranty, we have to activate. I'm going to link this to my account, activate it. It is registering the device with the server, sending the activation to the device, and then we have the DJI Care refresh, which we can buy or skip. Alright, so it looks like this guy is now activated. It doesn't show us the little slide 5 times or the QR code. Alright, activation successful. Let's get started. Now it's just telling us how to do things. Alright, it's talking about updating the firmware. I don't know if it needs a new it does have a new firmware, and so it is downloading the firmware and then it's going to install it onto the camera. Now that guy's downloading the firmware in the background. This guy's trying to give me introduction about how to use it. So swipe left or right to change shooting mode. So I can have video, super night mode, subject tracking, slow motion, time lapse. Tap to preview photos and videos, tap to change shooting mode, image parameters, battery level. Alright, tap to check battery level, 39%. Parameters, time lapse, slow motion, subject tracking. Track subjects automatically after recording starts. Alright. More photo mode. I haven't recorded anything yet. We can change the aspect ratio. We can pick how many images per second. So we can have wide or standard de-warp. So there's M, which is medium, 16 by 9 and 4 by 3, which are 8 and 9 megapixels. And then there's large, which is 16 by 9 or 4 by 3, and that's 36 or 40 megapixels. So I think I'll leave it there. There's standard de-warp or wide. I think I'll probably use standard. So these are picture modes. So your countdown timer, you can have a self timer up to 10 seconds. I'm not sure how to get back. There we go. Pull down to get back. So if I were to push the button on top, it makes a little clicky noise, and then there's my picture. Alright, according to this screen, it is 690 megabytes for the firmware that they're installing on the Action Cam. This progress bar has jumped up to 93%, so it's chugging along. Alright, this says updated in green. This says update successful. Says, okay, download new firmware automatically when connected to Wi-Fi, and I'm pushing done. It's connecting to the Action Cam. Alright, we're connected, and it has the picture I've taken. I can access that picture from this guy here. This is a low-res preview. I can download the full res, and now the picture is copied to my device. Okay, so right now I have a live view from the Action Cam You can see as I move the action cam around, it shows up on my camera. And essentially with that, I'll be able to use the phone like a viewfinder. I flip this to video mode. This changes to video mode. I can push record, and now it is recording onto the internal storage, and this guy here has a view of what's going on. I just stopped it, going back home. I go to the album, I can go to the videos. There's one video, and it's doing an ad. So we get a preview of the video. I can hit this guy, it can download the video, and now I have the video. And now it is recording onto the internal storage, and this guy here has a view of what's going on. So personally, I'm kind of hopeful that I'll be able to use this guy without the app too much, just plug in a cable and download the files, because I primarily use Linux, and so I don't wish to use a whole bunch of other apps. So I'm hopeful that now that this guy's activated and firmware updated, I'll be able to mostly just use it like a handheld camera. Now it has a front-facing screen. You can swipe to unlock the front-facing screen, and so that will help you frame shots if you're in the shot. Alright, I've set this guy just to record a clock. I've programmed the screen to never turn off, so the screen is using up a lot more power than if you had the screen set to turn off after 5 minutes or whatever. And we're going to see if a battery will... We'll see what runs out first. Does the internal 64 gigabytes of memory run out first, or does the battery run out first? And I've set this to 1080p by 24 frames per second. And so the idea there is that's using the smallest amount of memory possible. That's the, you know, the most efficient setting for recording video. Alright, it's 3:13 p.m. We have 118 minutes recorded. We're down to one of the 3 battery bars on the battery indicator here. I don't know if I tap that if I get more information. Yes, I do. Well, it says 48% here, so apparently we still got a little time left. Alright, we're at 4:48 and 2% battery left. Alright, it's 4:59 and this guy has shut itself off. I discharged this battery all the way. I plugged it into my charger. We're going to keep track of how many watt hours it takes to recharge this 1950 milliamp hour battery. Alright, the charger took 9 watt hours to fully recharge the battery to 100%. If it's a 4.45 volt battery at 1.95 amps, that's 8.6 watt hours, so it does look like the battery is pretty close to the claimed capacity. So this guy does not mount as a disk drive plugged into my computer without a battery in it. Alright, so I plugged it into my computer with a battery in it, and it does not mount automatically. Alright, turned on the power, and we have the options for file transfer USB, webcam, or charging only. So I'm going to click file transfer USB. Now it's connected, and it's shown up as an OSMO Action. Alright, we have 49 gigabytes of files. I have 2 17 gigabyte files and a 2 gigabyte file from my long-term video of the clock as I was running down the battery. So I'm copying the 2.8 gigabyte file across just to get a file speed here. So right now it's running about 31 megabytes a second. So the transfer speed is a reasonable 30 megabytes a second here, but it's not super fast. I've seen SD card readers do a lot faster than that on my computer. So just playing back the video here, I'm pretty happy with the image quality. Alright, 17.2 gigabytes is 1 hour and 42 minutes, which is how long it makes a single file before it starts a new file. I don't know why those particular numbers are the cutoff point, but that's where they are. Alright, so testing the waterproof nature of this guy. We can push it down under the water, take it out. Alright, so testing the waterproof nature of this guy. Under the water.
DSLR still working just fine.
All right, I dropped this guy in the lake. It went down maybe 2 or 3 feet. So the waterproofing works. I haven't tested the full 20 meters, but it's good enough for, accidentally dropping it in the water a couple of times.
Hold up, it lost subject tracking. Okay, gotcha.
Are you ready?
Go for it.
All right, I'm about 25 feet away. We're using the built-in microphone on the DJI Action camera. So I'm going to keep talking as I approach the camera, just to give you a feel for, how the microphone works as you get closer. So I'm not really an action cam kind of guy. I'm really more of a product review guy. And here I'm using the DJI Action 5 Pro as a product review camera. And the first thing I notice is that 155-degree field of view is gymongous here. My normal camera at this distance would be seeing just parts of the table. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. The products I'm holding are a lot smaller here. I'd have to get them, really close to the camera for you to be able to see them as well as with my normal camera. Now, I really like the front screen that's up here because I can frame my shots, and I know I'm not getting out of the frame, or if I am getting out of the frame, I know I am. With that 155-degree field of view, it's hard to get out of the frame unintentionally here. So I think it's going to work pretty well as a product review camera, as long as you don't mind having such a large field of view. For larger items, it'd be fine. For small little items, the tabletop type of stuff, a lot of the things I review are, I might have to hold things up to the camera for people. We'll also see how the autofocus is doing with everything that's going on here and how well it works at this relatively short distance. So I've been using this for a month or so. It's a little wide for product review videos, but it's really nice if you want to, for example, take a time lapse of some big project you're working on, or, action cam type stuff. I mean, this is designed to be taken sailing, swimming, surfing, mountain biking, that type of thing. I really like the kind of waterproof by nature design of it. I did, get a dive case to go with it, just in case as extra insurance, but just dunking it in the water or something, it didn't have, any problems with this guy. There's a pretty good ecosystem of accessories for it, and I think you're going to be pretty happy with it. Pretty much the only thing I don't like about this is their software set up on the phone, where you have to download and sideload it yourself. They have a beef with the Google Play Store, and that's the only real downside to this. But once you get it configured and activated and the firmware updated, you really don't have to use the phone app if you don't want to.